1 year ago, I made the switch from PS4 and controller to PC and keyboard and mouse, and a lot has changed since then. You guys have seen me at my worst and my best. But obviously, that change didn't happen overnight. On my Twitter, I asked people that were following me to ask me any questions they might have about my progression, my setup, anything Apex related, and I would answer them in a future video. That video is now. For the 1 year progression video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my progression, answering some questions you guys have, and then ending it off with some clips that you guys can check out to see just how far I've come in the year I've been here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do and you want to see more content like this, consider liking the video and subscribing with post notifications on. I do upload Apex Legends content every single week. And if you want to see stuff like this live, or you want to just hang out and chat, ask you questions, whatever the case may be, I do stream almost every single day at twitch.tv/hybridify_. Links will be down in the description if you want to get acquainted, guys. As always, it's been Hybrid, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Later. Alright, so we're going to jump right into it with the first question from Grizzy G. Shout out Grizzy for commenting on this post. But the question he asked is, what keybinds do you use and recommend? Now, keybinds are something that are greatly talked about in the community, especially when you're starting out, switching to keyboard and mouse, or even on a controller. When you're watching pro gamers or streamers that you enjoy watching, you always want to know what's their sensitivity, what's their keybinds, what can I change to be like them. So I'm going to talk about my keybinds in a sec, but real quick, I want to preface it with the fact that keybinds and sensitivity and settings are all unique to you. You want to be finding settings, keybinds, and a sensitivity that works best for you, and it's going to vary from person to person. Some people like higher sensitivity, some people like lower sensitivities, some people are arm aimers or wrist aimers or palm grip or claw grip. And some people like having their sprint on shift, some people like having it on control, some people have it on weird keys, like they have crouch on C instead of left control. Like, the point being is that keybinds are very, very different. You could ask 10 streamers what their keybinds are, and I guarantee that they would all be different in some slight way or another. So my main tip when trying to figure out keybinds is to experiment with things that are comfortable to you. When you're first starting out, you're not going to know what the heck you're doing. For starters, it's going to be very hard for you to do basic things like moving, crouching, strafing, aiming, jumping, and shooting all in quick succession, because you're going to have to be thinking about what your keys are and how you can do that. So definitely put some time into researching what the normal keybinds are, understand what most pro players use, and then go from there. Adapt it to change it to the ways you like. With that being said, guys, I can show you my keybinds on screen right now, but I would highly recommend to take this as a point of reference only and adjust it and adapt it to what's comfortable for you. Because in the end of the day, keybinds are not going to make you a better player. Some random sensitivity from a pro player is not going to make you a better player. Only practice and consistency with settings that are comfortable to you will make you a better player. The next question we have comes from Real Made by P, and he asks me what my Kovacs and training routine is. Now, I've already covered this in a previous video, and I will leave the link down in the description as well as on a card on screen. You can click in the top right hand corner. So if you haven't seen that, I would recommend checking that out. I go in depth in how I warm up before my Apex Legends games and what I use to practice consistent aiming. But the basic gist of it that you need to know is that I use Kovacs FPS Aim Trainer, which is a $7 or $8 application that you can get on Steam, and I pair that with Aimer7's Kovacs FPS Aim Guide, and I use both of these tools to consistently improve my aim and practice scenarios that will help my weak points when I'm aiming. On top of this, I also like to go into firing range at the start of every night and practice recoil control with every single gun. I practice strafing, moving, and controlling recoil, and basically just one-clipping bots for a couple minutes to get my shot a little warm before I hop into pubs. This is good not only to get yourself a little acclimated to what you're going to be doing in-game, but obviously to get used to recoil control, because a lot of having consistent aim in an FPS game is understanding the recoil that your guns have to go through in order so you can counteract it while you're trying to aim and strafe. And after that, it just comes down to playing the game. You have to remember that I have over 2,000 hours combined between PS4 and PC, and 1,500 of those hours come from PC alone. So this isn't something that's going to happen overnight, and it's not something that's going to happen by playing an hour a week. You have to genuinely want to improve and want to put in the time, especially with a competitive shooter game such as Apex Legends. It goes for any game, Fortnite, Warzone, Valorant, anything like that. If you truly want to improve and you truly want to become a better player, it is a craft that you have to master over many hours. So our last question comes from Zariah. Shout out Zariah for being a day one and supporter of my streams. And he asks, how was it adjusting the first month? I feel like that would be the hardest learning curve. And to answer his questions, 1 month is one of the hardest learning curves that you can experience when switching to keyboard and mouse. I made a full video going in depth on my transition during the 1 month period and how I'd gotten along. So if you want to check that out, it's in the top right hand corner right now. Check that out and come back here, or don't, whatever. The summary of it basically is that 1 month is the in-between time where you feel like you should be a lot better, but you're still not where you want to be. 1 month is where you probably started to find a sensitivity that works for you. You started to get a little bit more comfortable with taking fights, but you're still not confident enough to say that you're 100%. Maybe you haven't delved into rank yet, maybe you're just playing pubs at the moment, or maybe you're really adventurous and you've just went all in with pubs, ranked, and everything, just really trying to become the best player you can be. If you're in the 1 month stage and you're trying to progress further, my only advice would just be to keep going, because it is so easy to give up and to quit and to say, I'm just going to go back to controller and I'm going to go back to console because it's easier and because I'm more comfortable with it. But if you stick it out, you will definitely thank yourself in the long run. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the Twitter portion of the Q&A for this video. I wanted to answer a couple of questions or points that I wanted to actually make a note of myself. Now the first one is a question that I figured most people would be asking is, do I regret it? Would I ever go back, or do I think about going back? And the answer is, not really, not anymore. When I was getting absolutely decimated in every single lobby with no kills for 15 to 20 games in a row, yeah, I regretted it. I was like, God, dude, this sucks. I want to go back to console. And I did a couple times. I went back to console. I even went back to controller for a while. But after a while, I thought about it, and I'm like, honestly, I'm slowing myself down, one, by not fully committing, and two, it's just, I knew that I could become something better, and I definitely believe I have become something so much better than what I was then. And not only that, but it's also been such a great transformation for me, not only in the aspect of being a better person and a better player, but also for the sake of my content, my YouTube, my Twitch, and my social medias in general. Now the next one is something I've been thinking about, and it is, would I change anything going back? If I had to start from day one and go all the way to a year again, what would I do differently? And the only thing I could probably say that I would do differently is just put more time into practice and aim training early on. When I first started, I did aim training for a little bit, and then I stopped for months, and then I picked it back up near the 8 or 9 month progression-ish time period. I don't quite remember the exact time, but I was very invested in it way later than I should have been, and I feel like I could have progressed a lot further, a lot faster if I had decided to put in the work then. And like I said in multiple videos, I've mentioned this before, aim training is not something you have to do. It's not required, and a lot of people will argue against it, and a lot of people will argue for it. I personally think it does something but help you, and as long as you're putting in the time in-game to focus on situational awareness, game sense, movement, etc., you're going to be a lot better player than you would be if you didn't use it. And the final question, the one that's on everybody's mind, including mine, is what now? I mean, a year later, the progression series has been such a huge hit. I've become a lot better of a player and a person through this progression. My channel has grown exponentially because of these videos, and I'm super thankful for that. But that's not why I did it. I was so happy to see that I inspired so many people to make the switch or to continue on with their transition from PS4 to PC or from controller to keyboard and mouse. It was awesome. The whole reason I did this was to inspire people and to also document my journey and show that an average player can switch from controller to keyboard and mouse and become a good player. I think going forward, I'm definitely going to be ending the progression series because I feel I've reached a point where there's not much else I can do with the series. I've done montages, I've done tips and tricks videos, I've talked about my aim routines, my warm-ups, I've talked about my gameplays, I've showed you guys clips. I've done pretty much everything I can do to show you guys my progression throughout the entire journey. And I don't want to milk the series any further than I already have. I think a year is a great point to stop it. I might consider doing one in another year from now just to see how much things have changed. But until then, guys, I have so greatly appreciated this journey that you guys have been on with me. And thank you so much to anyone who's new to my channel and has supported me through this or has just found some sort of enjoyment through my content. This has always been a dream of mine, and to finally start reaching people through this series has been awesome. Going forward, I'm going to be focusing on entertaining gameplay and cool content, including challenge videos, talking about new season changes, gameplays, including pubs, ranked, and just all kinds of Apex Legends content, and maybe even other gaming content in the future, guys. I'm really just taking this to the top and taking it to the next level the best we can, and I hope to see you all there supporting me alongside me. Thank you, guys. That's all I can say. So I'm going to end it off here, guys, with a couple of clips just for you guys to see where I'm at right now. I hope you enjoyed this series, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do. If not, you know what to do. But thank you, guys. It means the world to me, and I love each and every single one of you. It's been Hybrid, and I will see you all later.
On you, I'm coming.
One of those boxes over here.
Is that what? No.
Tappy and Octane. Tappy 47. Checking body real quick. No, I need to do damage!
No, that's
Rate this
broke
cracked.
one. I broke life. Nice. Behind you, pass. He has purple. He didn't heal.
Nice.
Nice.
All dead.
One of them myself.